Good morning. Welcome. This is the Hunt Studio. This is episode 13 of Car Thoughts. Yep. 4:43 a.m. is the time today. Actually, last time I spoke here, in this platform, in this format of Car Thoughts, of whatever, I had mentioned that I am staying in the car, just as like a camping trip, as like a way to save gas to and from work. I have slowly but surely transitioned to living in this thing full time. Temporarily. Yeah. So I'm living in the car, living in what is usually my sound studio. My sound is where, originally Car Thoughts started because, I was in the military a couple years ago and I was ready to get out, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And so I figured out the best way to, my head would get all boggled up and just jumbled, and I couldn't think clearly. So the best way for me to kind of clear that was to go on a ride, like jump in my truck and drive around. And funny enough, actually, I had a car. It was like a brand new car, and I bought it brand new. And then I bought this cheap Jimmy, that was whatever. It was meant to be a project car. It was like $1,500, and I enjoyed driving around that old piece of crap GMC Jimmy more than I did my brand new car, which, I mean, technically it wasn't paid for. But anyway, so due to circumstances, life circumstances, whatever, I traded that Jimmy so that my wife could have a car, and then I stumbled upon another one and bought another one. So here we are. This is my second GMC Jimmy and third S10 platform, because I had a Chevy Blazer before this, back in like 2015. But this is the nicest one of the three by far. So anyway, side note aside, this is, for now, this is my home. Yeah, so this isn't, I don't even know how to really talk about it, because, I mean, there's a lot to go through, there's a lot to filter. If you Google tiny living, or just go on YouTube and type in, like, tiny living, or living out of your car, living out of your camper, converting a van into a home, whatever. Just, it's all over the internet. It's all over the place. It's all over, like, and it's broadcasted as this amazing feat of freedom. And, just quitting your job, quitting your regular 9 to 5 to live in the car full time and travel and do the thing and whatever, be adventurous and wander. And that's not really where I'm going with this. This one is more so, I have commitment issues with things, with life, with whatever. I don't like committing to something. I don't like the idea of committing and being tied down via contract, because you paid for it, because you told me you'd pay for it, whatever, and being kind of like stuck with the decision. Unless I'm highly educated on the subject, which I'm learning that the more and more I learn, the more and more I realize I don't know anything about, well, hardly anything, really. Yeah, so I don't like the idea of like committing to something without fully understanding what I'm getting into. And a lot of times I'll just jump off a big mistake I've been making pretty much my whole life is I like the idea of whatever it is I'm investing in. I like the idea of, having whatever, I told you this is hard to talk about. This is just right now, I don't know. Tough to talk about. I haven't been religiously making content like I usually do because of this, just this life transition, really. This is a transitional stage, basically, starting at ground zero and rebuilding type of thing for me. Also, it's tough to record me drawing in a car. Also, it's really hard to record me drawing if I'm not even drawing. So, oh man, yeah. So, I'm learning. I'm young. I'm willing to accept the fact that I make mistakes, and I'm being nice to myself about it. So, all right. I want to break down so that's kind of the breakdown of what's happening, where I'm living. I'm not like completely homeless and starving and pitiful and pathetic, whatever. I mean, I have a job. I have a job, actually. I'm the reason I'm awake at 4, not even 5 o'clock, is because I have to go to work at 6. And I'll be at work until 4:30 p.m. And then I'll get off. And then I'll do whatever. So I have a job. I'm bringing in income. The whole thing. Oh, excuse me. Oh, you. There you go. So, living in the car, and then I don't know where I'm gonna go from here. I'm setting my money aside, and I'm gonna really invest my time, effort, and energy, and study my next move. And right now, I mean, of course, I'm getting out of debt and doing as Dave Ramsey suggests, which is whatever you do, pay with cash. Pay it in full, pay in cash. So that's the objective is whatever my move is. I mean, I've got to live somewhere. And right now the car is where I'm living, but this isn't designed for long term, super long term anyway. This might turn into however long, I don't know, but yeah, I'm saying right now because I don't have anything like. A lot of times, I don't know. I just have this passion in my voice when I talk, when I'm in here. Usually, when I'm like speaking on a subject that I really care about. I'm just speaking out of my heart, speaking out of my, getting things out of my noggin and into existence, and talking about struggles mostly because, if I keep my struggles bottled up, if I keep that negativity in my life, if I just bottle it all up and hold it in and don't tell anybody, I'm gonna explode. I'm gonna, I'm only human. I'm a human being who happens to make art, right? I draw, and a lot of times my world, if you watch any of my videos at all, like most of my universe is not surrounding by art. It's got a bunch of stuff surrounding it. Art just happens to be one of those things that I do. I just happen to really, really, really enjoy the act of filling up a sketchbook and flipping through it slowly on YouTube. That's actually the sole purpose of why I started the YouTube channel in the first place years ago. I say years, it's only been like, I was deployed, so 2018 was the end of my deployment, so it's been 2 years, little over 2 years. So I did a flip through of my little deployment sketchbook, and then when I got home, I set a goal of filling up a sketchbook so that I could flip through it. That was my only objective, was to fill it all the way up and then flip through it. And it took me 1 year to accomplish that. August of 18 to August of 2019. And then I flipped through that thing, and it got like, I was my first video ever to bust over 100 views, and it was amazing. And oh my gosh, it was so cool to me. And so what did I do? I set off and bought another sketchbook, and this one took me 6 months to fill it. And I flipped through that one. Didn't get as good of a response as the first one. But again, I'm not in it for the video, for the views. I'm not in it for the interaction between others. It's a passion of mine, and I just want to share it, right? And so I jumped into another sketchbook, and that one took me another 6 months to fill. And so right now I've got 3 completely full sketchbooks, and then I handmade another one back in June of 2020. Oh, excuse me. Oh, no. Oh, no. So, June of 2020, and it's December, and my goal right now is to fill this thing before January. And, I mean, it's December before the 10th, for sure. Man, so, I'm so lost here. December 8th, right now. And I'm going to fill up that sketchbook before January 1st. And last year, I filled up my Moleskine sketchbook on December 31st of 2019. December 31st, which was amazing. It was so cool that I filled it up the day before. And then the very next day, I already had a sketchbook on deck, so I was able to open it up and start right away, January 1st. And yeah, so I mean, as far as my art journey, it's looking pretty much the same as it did last year, is making cool art, having a lot of fun with it, doing a lot of like personal expression with my art, which is why I make art, because it's a bit of an escape for me. No, it's not a bit of one. It is an escape from reality for me. I'm allowed to just sit there and cease to exist for a second. And it's pretty cool because I get to combine these two pieces of whatever, like me sitting here in my car and talking through my thoughts. And that in itself creates this, I've got this illusion building up in my head of negativity and just crap and just like whatever, things I need to sort out and filter out and bring it to the surface so that it doesn't become reality, basically. And to be more specific, the negative things in my head are like, you'll never make it. You're not going to be successful. You are going to end up you're going to cease to exist due to your own hand. I don't know if I can say that word out loud, but anyway. Just negative things, and all kinds of negative things, like you are worthless, you don't have value, you can't raise your son, you're doomed to fail, just things of that nature, just crap, really, and it's all in my own head. And so I go out to prove myself, what the thoughts in my brain, I rush out to prove against that. It's like, I can have a house, I can raise a family, I can have a dog, I can graduate college, LOL, dropped out of college twice. I can do these things, and it's all to prove. So first off, let me back up and say that the thoughts in my head were programmed into me by the people who raised me. Right? That happens, and then inherently those voices turned into my own voice to the point where now I'm fighting against it and trying to prove against it to the point this isn't even my life at this point, like I'm fighting someone else's fight. Someone else is unhappy and then gave it to their, to me, and then now it's my turn to deal with it. I have to deal with their problems because they were unhappy with their life and they pushed it off onto me. And so it's just this infinite loop, infinite chain that if I don't break it, I'm just going to end up doing the same thing to my child, my son, and I've already noticed traces of me doing that, like by the words that I speak to him and the way I carry myself around him it's dangerous, and I want nothing to do with that. I would much rather figure these thoughts out, go to therapy, like go to counseling, get this figured out, and then, I want my kiddo to grow up to be happy, and I want to program him to understand that these falsehoods are exactly that. They're false. So I don't want him to experience the same pain that I felt, which was I lost my mother due to, she died by her own hand. Whoops. That's my alarm. Like I said, I have to work in an hour. It's 5 o'clock, and I have to be at work at 6, and I'm probably about 30 minutes away from work, so when I get done with this, when I get done with this podcast episode, I'm gonna haul booty, might eat me some breakfast. So I was, so my train of thought got interrupted, but it's okay. So in life, ultimately, I understand that we're not going to be here forever. You, me, no one here is going to be here forever. And so something I struggled with contemplating was, is it even worth it? Is it even worth, living and existing? Is it even worth, doing anything? Because, we're not going to be here long anyway, we're just going to go. And that's not it. We're here for a freaking purpose. We're here because we're supposed to be. We're here by, the chances of us being here are so slim. We're so blessed, and so the actuality of us being here, you and me, is absurd. It's no accident. And so that means each and every individual one of us has a purpose on this planet, and we have to fulfill that, And I've been doing a little bit of studying of passion versus purpose. So passion is something you're fired up about, you're overly excited about, and you won't stop until you obtain it. Your purpose is more of your entire reason for existing. So your passion, you could be a passionate. Like in 2013, I was passionate about clothing and buying a Mustang. If you ask me today what I'm passionate about, clothing and Mustang don't fit in that group. I don't care about, I don't care about either one of those things too much. You got to have clothes to live, to clothe yourself. But I don't care about a Mustang. I don't care about that. I've learned that, I learned I'd much rather have the utility of an SUV than a car. So that's just me. And so passions can change. Passions change all the time. Right now I'm passionate about drawing. I'm passionate about. I'm super duper passionate right now about getting this stuff in my head sorted out, like reprogramming, rewiring my brain to allow myself to become successful by my own terms. And that's my passion right now. Is my central focus is around me right now so that I can give to others. I want to take care of myself so that I can live freely, live on my own terms, and give, like, just freely give to others, and because actually that makes me happy. It does. Being able to give out of the sheer kindness of my heart, not being forced to, not being expected to, but unexpectedly. Just, I walked up to some guy, he clearly wasn't hurting for it. You know, he was at a gas station pumping his own gas and, you know, whatever. He looked as if he looked as if he had just gotten off of work and driving this big truck around, whatever, and he's in his work clothes and he's filthy, whatever, and he just looks tired from a long, hard day at work. And I had some money in my pocket, and immediately it just came to me, just give that man some money. And I mean, that's the only, I felt drawn to this man. I don't know what his life is. I don't know anything about him. I don't know. Just some guy at the gas station. But something told me to give to him. And so I took 10% of the money that I had in my pocket and I handed it to him. And he looked at me all cross. He's like, I don't need that, man. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm just doing something nice for somebody. And he's like, okay, thanks. And I don't know what, you know, clearly he didn't need the money. And it wasn't a lot of money. It was just like a little bit, just like I said, 10% of what I had, which what I had wasn't a lot anyway. But it was the gesture of me handing this man some money with a smile on my face, and ultimately he accepted it. And what he did with it, I don't care what he did with it. I don't care. But that made me feel good. And I know that made him feel, I'm sure he, on the way home, thought about that, like, what the hell is this little white man doing? Handing me money. So, you know, I don't know. It's that's what I want to do. I want to take care of myself, take care of my son, take care of my family, and allow us to live a life that's fulfilling. You know, I want Asher to grow up in a stable home. I want him to grow up like I was fortunate enough as I grew up from the age of 6 to 17, grew up in the same house. I lived in the same house, and I am so blessed to say that. To be able to say that. Now, granted, the school system I went through wasn't exactly hip. It wasn't great. It wasn't, I mean, it was cool. There's a lot of pride there. It was a good school. The individuals that I called friends, I learn now that none of them are. You know, one of them just had a wedding, and seemingly everybody got invited, except your boy. I did not. And that happens, this isn't like a one-time thing. I get invited. I don't get invited to the big things, to the parties, to the whatever, and that's been going on since high school. And these people I thought were my friends, whatever, I'm getting sidetracked. Basically, that's the only thing I have to complain about, you know, like, you know, the fact that I was able to grow up consistently in the same spot. It was good. It was good. I'm thankful for that. And I want to bring the same type of quality of life to my son, but in a much happier manner. Like, Dad's happy, and he's doing nothing but emitting that happiness all the way throughout this house. You know, which by the way is paid for. I want to live inside of my means, I want, you get swamped if you start looking into, you look anywhere on the internet and somebody's doing this fake flex, somebody's like spending a bunch of money, somebody's doing whatever, and they basically are rubbing it in the face that, or what it seems like is they have things and you don't, and it gets consuming. It gets all consuming. And, I was watching a review video of like, it's about time for me to get a new phone. So I started looking into good phones. And this guy had like 30 phones on his table. And he's like, I have been using these all year round. And these are the top 5 phones, whatever. And I get it. I know that people send him stuff like that. But dang, man, I have to buy one of these. And a range of anywhere $500 to $1,000 is coming out of my pocket to purchase this, which is insane. So I get envious, whatever. It happens over and over again. Every time I look around, like, oh, this guy's got a nicer this and that than I do, or he's able to produce this and that better than I can, and it's just crap. It's whatever. So I am I'm doing my best to filter those thoughts and doing my best to stay off of social media as best I can. When it comes to making my life decisions, like buying a car is a pretty big feat. I shouldn't base someone else's lifestyle around my purchase. I should consider my own lifestyle, consider my own budget, my own means, and buy based around that. Same with the cell phone, same with the recording device that I have right now is just my iPad and a lapel mic, a lavalier mic, and that's, I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. Now, I have seen somebody with like this big, gigantic, studio setup and they have a completely separate section for audio, and there's like 1,000 plus into it, and whatever, it's crap. Like that's their life. That's what they deemed worthy of their money and their time and effort. And for me, I have to decide what's important. I have to decide what's important instead of just getting hyped up about someone else's purchase on the internet and then just running away with that. So I've got to decide. First and foremost, I have to protect, I have to protect myself. I have to protect my child. I have to provide for my child. I want to put food in his mouth. That's my big goal right now. My drive is to put food in my child's mouth. And right now, that's this 9 to 5 that I probably should get up and start heading to. Like right now, that's this 9 to 5. At some point, I would love to see it turn into, I'm building and developing side hustles on the side. And side note, I want to go on this tangent for a second. When people say side hustle and I look into it a little bit, I'm like, ooh, I want to know what a side hustle is. I want to start my own. They're super general about what in the heck they do about the side hustle. And if you want me to expand on that, I will totally expand on that, because I can't stand when I'm like, what do I need to do to make more money? And they're like, start a side hustle. Yeah, no crap, but what? How? So I will expand and elaborate on what I do to make money, because at this point it's expanded and it's grown into, I never thought this would happen, but when I made that leap and got out of the military, I had one stream of comfortable, consistent income in the military. Now I have 3, one is consistent and the other 2 are sporadic, but the other 2 smaller ones are so much more fun. So much more fun. So much so that I wouldn't mind seeing both of these flourish into full-time gigs. Actually, and basically I'm just taking the things that I'm passionate about and applying them to side hustles is exactly what I'm doing. I'm taking these things that I'm interested in, and I'm keeping it at a reasonable, like, entry level thing, because I know I like to change my mind a lot, and I want the freedom to do so. I don't want to go full blown, this is my one stream of income, or this is my thing, I am that person, because I'm not a woodworker full time. I do it for fun when I want to, you know. I also flip furniture, and I do it when I can get my hands on a good quality piece of furniture. I don't want to feel pressure of, if I don't find a good couch today, I'm not eating. I don't really want to feel that, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap up, because how long has this thing been? 30 minutes. Yeah, this is about right. This is good. I want to end on a light note. I want to end on a positive note. Like I said, I'm a human being. You know, we have ups and we have downs, and life wouldn't be life if we didn't have those ups and downs. You know, like, imagine if you, excuse me, imagine if you ate this giant, nutritious, fulfilling meal, just slam full of proteins and carbs and the good kinds of fats, and you went to sleep after eating that, and you woke up and you felt great. You felt amazing. And then you ran and ran and ran and went with all that energy. You ran and did as much as you could with that energy, with that effort, with that whatever, and you felt amazing. Well, you just ate a good solid meal, and you felt good about it because you put good food, good fuel into your body. But guess what happens to your body? You burn that off, and you need more. You need more good food to keep going. And then you have a choice. I'm hungry. You could either make a decision to consume the same good food, good quality food, good stuff that's going to benefit you, or you can eat trash. You know, you can eat absolute garbage. And depending on which one you choose is dependent on how you feel. And it's the same thing with your mental state. The same thing with your, I've been tempted with options of taking care of myself versus not, mentally, on the mental game. And that is, stay around the campfire of the things I'm passionate in, helps me to keep going. Staying around the campfire of things I'm passionate in, like staying aware of what's going on. Also talking to other people about your passion. Granted, these people need to be positive, uplifting people that aren't going to shoot you down. If you can find people like that, and you talk about things and they're like, yes, support. Yeah, go talk to people like that. Counseling, therapy, all these things, are good, positive influences towards, striving towards that. And also, there are negatives. There are plenty of negatives, and I'll list off a few. You've got substances of all sorts of nature. You've got pornography, you've got, drugs, alcohol, the whole lot. You got the whole thing. You can also hang around negative people, which is most common. Most people are hanging around negative people and don't even realize it. Because guess what? It's probably your dad. It's probably your brother, your uncle, your spouse, your whatever. Negative people. And that sucks. You got to cut them out. I did. It's hard. You got to. See ya. Bye-bye. But, yeah. So, it's all a matter of how you. The big point is I'm doing what I know to do to heal. And not only to heal, but to prosper. And this right here, this little 30-minute therapy session with myself has been one step closer to achieving that just internal peace, Also, I've been meditating. I've meditated twice, and It's a very surreal experience. It's amazing. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm being guided through Sam Harris's Waking Up app. It's showing promise. It might be my new thing. Exercising, forgot about that one. Eating healthy, that whole thing. That's my idea. That's where I want to be. And I have been there. I frustrate myself so many times, so much. But anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to scoot. I got to drive. So I'm going to get out of here. Did you enjoy my little talk? Did you even watch the video? Most likely I'm drawing. I haven't done anything for the video, but usually I like to sit and draw. It gives me a reason. It forces me to actually sit down and draw. Because sometimes I'll get like this and I'll get swamped and I don't want to do anything. So I do nothing. I sit around and don't do anything. I get off work and jump in the bed and call it done. But I don't need to. I need to get up, be physically active outside of my work, and I need to draw more. Because drawing actually makes me happy. Filling up sketchbooks makes me ecstatic. You know? And also, you know, the festival season is kind of slow right now. It's, you know, Christmas time festivals. But, you know, springtime comes around and I want to have a pretty decent portfolio for these springtime, you know, festivals. So, anyway, I want to get out of here. My name's Hunter. This is the Hunt Studio. Peace out. Bye. Thanks for hanging out. Like and subscribe. Do the thing. And I'll see you later. See ya.